My past will outlast me. Ask me if I agree with my choices now. I'd say no. I'd ask if that's me, 'cause I don't recognize myself anymore. No, sir. That's what we're gonna do. We're gonna rebel, stepping up to the plate, give up hell, feeling great, show and tell, devastate. I've taken my fair share of beatings and I've retreated and bleeded, but my kids were dying for to give us something to believe in. You're gonna tread, you're gonna tread, you're gonna fall.
Welcome everybody to the third episode of the Roundtable Show. Today I am absolutely honored to be joined by Angel Wings, Jayme Jacobson. We're actually going to start using her real name, and the incredibly intelligent and intuitive host of Quantum Guide Show, Karen Holton. And I can't believe I have a guest of this caliber on my third show. I was kind of speechless when we got talking and you actually accepted right off the hop. I was like, okay, I have to put this together now. This must happen. So, Jayme, we'll start off with you. I know we usually go into ascension symptoms. If you want to give us a couple of minutes on that, because I know you wanted to do a 5-card reading for the collective as well, just to try something different. Everything is always evolving, moving. We are molecules in the movement, so let's roll with that.
Some new occurrences with ascension symptoms. I've noticed that that's really working your whole back. I mean, my back lately, my whole back was so sore. Because your chakra system is literally hitting an upgrade. You're cleansing. Once you go through the purge and cleansing part, and but everyone's different as well. So everyone's going to be on their own level. But at the same time, it helps to share everyone's experiences with each other just to get an idea. Also, because it varies, and I've realized that even my pets are going through it, because my pets lately, through the hard energies, the last 3 days last week has been really hard on them. They've been throwing up. I even was concerned and going to take them to the vet, but they said they were fine. So it's just a matter of getting them more healthier, nutritious food. Because it's so hard to find good stuff. I might even go to the point where I might start making my own food for my pets.
Just before we get too far, if anybody sees me talking to myself, I'm not channeling spirit. Canadian Spinja is just off camera doing her fiber thing. So I haven't lost my mind yet.
Awesome. Angel Wings, I make my own pet food for my cat. I do give them some kibble, but they need the higher frequency food. So I went to the meat market, and they actually have like ground beef with organs, and they just sell it. It's really cheap, $3 a pound. And so I'm able to feed them that. So anyway, I just want to throw that out to you, because my pets are noticing it too. You're right on the money with that one.
Oh, that's awesome. Thanks for that advice too. That's great. Because I just feel so bad for them, because that's what slowed me down getting ready this morning. Was I was cleaning up from them throwing up from the other cat food, and the dry cat food just isn't cutting it. It's just terrible for them that they can't digest it very well anymore.
Yeah. I kind of joke around that's like my penance in life was I was born in Calgary. I moved back to Alberta. I'm like, oh, this is going to be awesome. Alberta beef every week. And my body started rejecting red meat. I'm like, are you kidding me? It's literally on tap and I can't eat it.
Well, and it seems like every time you go through more and more symptoms and everything, that sometimes you'll cut out meat, but then you'll need it later. I just go by what my body needs. I don't sit there and have a strict diet and just say, oh, that means I can't have it at all. No, it just means maybe you're purging part of that, and that's too hard to process through your purging process of upgrades and energy coming in. And so I've noticed that I do need some meat to keep going with certain proteins, and definitely need protein so I could keep my muscle, because I lost so much weight already, but then I lost my muscle. I'm like, oh no, I like being able to compete with guys.
So did you want to move into your reading from there, or Karen, did you have anything to add to any ascension?
No, sorry. Sort of like I want to present a little bit later in the show when you're ready for me. I want to present a free program that I have online, and it's really suited for ascension symptoms because I had ascension symptoms so strong. I was completely screwed up. I couldn't function. I couldn't eat. I couldn't go out. I was just a mess. Like I really got hit hard with it. And so this program I got in a download, and when I present it, but I don't want to interfere with Angel Wings because I know she's got some readings and some things she wants to do, but it's on the same, sort of in the same chapter of the same book. So, you know, I'll give my 2 cents a little bit later if that's okay.
Yeah. So if you want to carry on.
Okay. Yeah. Oh, and I got a brand new deck as well. And this is actually Ascension Angel cards.
Oh.
I figured it would suit the show pretty well and introduce some new perspectives. So let's do a little ooh, that's a hoppy card ready. Crystals. And I gotta look this one up because it's brand new. So so we got this beautiful card, crystals.
With Karen Holton on
huh?
Crystals with Karen Holton on the show. I wonder why.
I know, right? All right, crystals 25. Bear with me. Oh, Archangel Ariel, tune into the powerful vibrational support of crystals to help you on your ascension path. And with your specific situation, crystals are the physical manifestation of spiritual consciousness. Into divine geometric forms of light and immense benefits to tap into. Each type of crystal vibrates with a specific light frequency, and through their subtle energetic resonance, they offer powerful healing and spiritual transformation. Crystals can help you move energetic blockages, open your spiritual communication, bring mental, emotional healing, so much more. You can tune into the crystal energy within the earth through meditation, and you actually purchase crystals to keep in your home. Listen to intuition and specific types of crystals that offer right energetic support for you now. The ones you like and feel drawn to are a wonderful place to start. There are many ways to work with crystals. You can wear them, sleep with them, meditate with them, create crystal grids, energetic invoke the vibration of crystals within the earth. Take some quiet time to meditate with crystals and try laying on different parts of your body to feel their vibrations. Listen to your heart and take step in the direction inviting more of the frequency and energy of the crystals into your life. As you continue to move through the ascension process, you're becoming crystalline yourself. Tuning into the steady consistency, high vibrational energy of crystals will help you make the shift and glide through the changes of your life with grace, ease, and love. That so explains everything I do with my crystals.
Yeah.
That's a better explanation than what I have ever come up with, because I always talk about it, but that's a good description. I think that helps a lot because I myself have variety of crystals. This is a giant quartz crystal, a series generator that amplifies all the rest of the crystals here. And you can even program crystals to create a grid of all sorts of whatever you need, like extra protection, certain cleansing, and they just do a lot. And it definitely helps with ascension symptoms. Now, I'm moving on. My dragon deck, since it's Year of the Dragon coming up shortly, they've been coming up more and more often. And I didn't even realize I stumbled across, speaking of dragons, about that to assist on our ascension path. I better make sure I make intentions on the cards too, or just drawing out of nowhere, but that works too. That works for me also, though. But geez, so many want to come out and pop out. It's hard to shuffle. All right, let's see. I always wait for the cards to speak to me. They always fly out of the deck. It's the best way to get a good answer. But then sometimes you have conflicting cards that want to pop out all at once. Apparently we have 2 cards. Magenta Dragon enables you to bring forward your soul wisdom, awaken your soul memories, a higher spiritual understanding. Prepare for accelerated ascension. So right now, everyone's working on an accelerated ascension, or those connected at different levels. Some are being fast-tracked and sped up. That could be why some ascension symptoms are harder on others as well. And then you have the Black Dragon from Saturn, brings you wisdom through spiritual discipline. Focus on your ultimate vision. Congratulate yourself. You have passed a test. So some of you have passed a mighty test. Again, that was a collective, so it could resonate with anybody. If you feel like you've gone through something big recently, you've probably passed a test you've been working on. I usually elaborate, but that actually speaks for itself really well.
It does.
And then I have my big angel deck. This is the biggest deck I have. And at one point, I had this deck actually combined and mixed with my unicorn and dragons.
Oh.
Woo! All right, and again, I know I'm trying not to make this take long, but 2 cards keep wanting to pop up. A Knight of Water, emotional, romantic, falling in love, or willing proposal needed to balance emotions, an invitation to a social event.
Your green screen kind of messed that up.
There
you go.
And it kind of reflective too there.
Yeah, I can see
They're
that.
real pretty cards.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I got a I have dragon spirits with me as well, and I got one playing with a card. So sometimes this might some of this will resonate with a variety of other people, because I'm trying to do a drawing for everybody, not just myself. Let's see, Knight of Water. I'm looking it up real quick to get a real good description. Deep emotions arising from situations or relationships impact your life. Falling in love or wedding proposal is possible. The need to balance your emotions lest you become overwhelmed. You may receive invitations to parties or social opportunities. An extremely emotional person who is driven by love or romance. Someone who is charming, competitive, romantic. Ooh, that's a good positive thing for a lot of people, I bet, coming up.
Maybe even yourself. Like
huh?
Maybe even yourself. Wink, wink.
Probably.
We won't talk about the details of your private life on air, but you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah. Which is kind of weird. And I don't mind saying part of this, but in a teasing way, someone was saying, oh no, we're going to get married next week. And I was scratching my head going, what the heck? That's kind of funny. This kid to draw this card. I'm just like, what a weird way to goof about something. I'm just like, that's hilarious. It's like, when was I notified? Apparently, right at the last minute. All right. Oh, geez. Yeah, 3 of Water. And it says the exact same thing: a celebration, wedding, graduation. The need to have more fun. I think the cards were directed at me this time. I was trying to do for everybody, but hey, maybe that resonates with quite a few people going on lately. It seems to be the collective for quite a few people being drawn. That's so hilarious. a lot of water signs going on too. Must be something in the water. That actually reminds me too of water, because I have a water sitting right here, and I actually sprinkled some Himalayan salt in it to get some salt content back because of all the protein and stuff that I've been. It's like when you increase your protein content, you got to replace your minerals more.
Oh. I learned so much talking to you guys. Like, it's just awesome. Like, this is part of the reason, because like I'm new to all of this, so it's like I'm just gonna ask people that have been doing this for years. So
Oh, I agree. Actually, the other interesting thing is we've now moved into Aquarius, which is the water bearer. My horoscope sign is Aquarius, and I also eat a lot of protein and need more minerals and salts as well. So I'm validating everything that Angel Wings is saying, for sure.
All right. Now, collective. We're doing a collective on the ascension symptoms. Not just me. Let's go. Come on, dragons, you silly guys. Or universe. I love that how the universe is so funny.
It has a sense of humor.
Yep. All right. So one card popped up for the Unicorn Collective was like to remind us of our creativity, not a flame. And I'm going to read this one because this one has a really good clarification on it. It's really interesting. Gaze into a flickering flame before you as it consumes your consciousness and transforms you to traverse the deepest regions of your innermost levels of creativity and power. Suddenly, this is no longer an ordinary fire, but a vision of the unicorn of flame. Her spirit calls you close into her warmth and power. Imagine yourself the presence of the unicorn of flame, and she invites you to walk through her. What power! And she surrounds yourself in the fire of all creation, and you no longer hold any fear in your heart. Now gallop forward into your next endeavor. Create, rise, and shine. And you've affirmation, I am high, bright, light, warm, filled with wonder. My inner flame burns brightly. And an action to practice, light a candle and meditate on the tip of the flame. Draw the light into your heart and allow it to warm you. Notice the feelings and thoughts drifting as you playfully toss them into the flames. When you arise from your trance, journal, dance, or create some art. It's time to bring your creative side to life. And that actually goes really well with the ascension symptoms because of the solar flares. All the, nothing but fire and flame right there. One more deck. I know, I got a lot of cards.
Oh, it's good to have a broad scope.
Yeah, oh, yeah. And that's it. You're getting tons of information from the universe all the time. And I just realized that the more I awaken to all my gifts and abilities, and I use these cards as a way to sort through it because there's so much coming in at once. There are literally this many perspectives always talking to me. So that's why I use the cards more of a tool to assist in all the energy coming in. And we have empathic starseed, energetic, absorbing what's not yours. Oh, this is a good one that helped a lot of people to understand what's going on. Whoop. Yeah, it was probably kind of hard to see it. I really got to read this. This is definitely a good card. Because I know a lot of empathic starseeds go through this process. I don't know if I can find it. All right. Empathic starseeds are here to shift the world through their physical presence alone. They don't need to do anything beyond being here thanks to the energetic change of their physical presence causes. Due to their highly sensitive nature, empathic starseeds can struggle being on Earth in a physical body, more prone to addiction and depression, or tend to make mistakes, other feelings or moods that are not their own. Natural introverts, they tend to prefer spending time alone or in small groups. Crowds can be overwhelming for them. If this card appears, consider lightening the load energetically. Don't put yourself under such pressure going out into the world. Be gentle with yourself. Allow extra time and care to remove energetically. If you're feeling pressure to keep a certain pace, instead, put on brakes and treat yourself like a precious baby. Do whatever you can to take the pressure off the world off your plate. Switch off to switch back on. In today's world, it's normal to feel what we should be doing more, but perhaps being present in our life is enough. This could be a phase you're going through, or simply know how being called to live your life. If your work involves giving to others right now, you're being called to keep something for yourself. You don't need to transmute it all. It's okay to look after your own growth and healing before feeling you should offer into the world. Indeed, it is necessary if you want to continue to do so substantially. How can you take better care of yourself energetically? And then again, that goes right back to the crystals, I feel too, because I'll have grounding crystals and a variety of crystals that help process and remove all that negative energy and other energies from other people, and helps me transmute through it better. So I do go out a lot more often once you work with yourself. It just takes time and understanding of what's going on.
No, that a lot of that really resonated with me, especially that last Starseed one. It's, trials and tribulations I've had throughout my entire life with addiction and bad decisions and knowing I was doing the wrong thing, but lying to myself about it, all kinds of things like that. And another one I wanted to touch on is you mentioned synchronicities earlier. It's a person that Karen knows and you know very well. Well, you've seen and resonate with is Frank Castle. Was nice enough he's going to be on Maya's radio show later on, and he actually took a call with me for about an hour on Monday. Well, here's the funny thing. Him and I got into about me being on the ships and her being on the ships and how many times do you need to see the ships until you get that you're on the ships. Well, here's the wild part. As soon as we were done talking about the ships, 22 miles northwest of me in Airdrie, Alberta, there was a ship spotted and photographed as soon as we stopped talking about them. So I was like, okay, Frank, what did you call just to prove a point? Like, there's your ship. Do you see it coming? It's real. Like, I don't know if Frank summoned it or us talking about it summoned it or they just picked up the vibe, but within a 10-minute period of one another, I actually have the screenshots of both. We stopped talking, and 10 minutes beforehand, the ship had been filmed or photographed in Airdrie. And I was like, there's no such thing as coincidence anymore. I'm sorry.
Well, they definitely want to be seen more frequently, I think. I think they're trying to seriously get out there and showing more to ones that understand to help us explain it, because people, that's another thing, is they keep doing this fear-mongering stuff. They keep fear. No, fear is a choice. You don't have to fear it. You can process through it and get over it and learn to understand it first. Less judgment, more discernment.
Karen, do you want to kind of take the wheel from here? I know you have a lot of amazing information to share with everybody, and we'll just let it roll.
Sure. Okay. Are you all done, Angel Wings? I don't want to interrupt you at all.
Oh, yes, go ahead.
Awesome. And thanks for those readings. They were fantastic. Right on. You're right on. You're spot on with all of it.
Even some readings about myself in there. I wasn't trying to get in there. But I feel like I resonate with a lot of people with all that energy coming in as well, though.
Yep, I bet you do, for sure. So, so my name is Karen Holton, and my channel is Karen Holton TV. And I have actually two podcasts. One is called The Quantum Guide Show, which is weekly. And I interview people from all over the world with all kinds of interests. You name it, I've had it on. Like I've had Frank Castle on. I actually have a panel once a month for 4 months that's exploring the shadow. And he's part of that as well. And of course, I'm part of Chris Matthews' Forbidden Knowledge Network. And I have another podcast called Aliens and Angels. And it's only the only people that come on the show are people who are actual experiencers. But that also includes transdimensional experiencers like you, Dawn, and Frank and other people. And it's people who've had actual experiences with extraterrestrials, angels. And I had an angel. How all of this got started with me is I got very, very ill. I had quit religion. I had been a Jehovah's Witness for 17 years. And it was after I left religion completely and I was really having severe ascension symptoms and having visions and all these things happen. I didn't know what was going on, and I didn't have anyone at the time to turn to for advice. And I actually had an angelic visitation, which blew my mind, and probably on another show, if you ever want to hear about that, it was incredible. And then after that is when I really opened up and realized that I'm part of the first wave, because I'm a baby boomer, and most of us don't last. Talk about losing so many friends over the years through addictions, and I myself have had addictions and stuff. But anyway, long story short, And then I had an extraterrestrial adventure, and it happened every night, every single night in a row for 3 months of our time. But the actual adventures were more like 3.5 years worth of experiences. And I'm working on my book, which I hope to publish one day soon. And all about that experience. And then one thing led to another, and eventually I ended up with podcasts and all of that. But what I would kind of like to zero in on today is a free program I offer on my website and also on my YouTube channel called Quantum Health Transformation. Don, did you want to say anything before I ramble on to the next subject?
No, absolutely. You're killing it. I just enjoying what you're doing.
Okay, so this happened after my angelic experience. I would say about 5 years after, maybe a little less. I got what they call a download. And a download is not really fun. It's an immense amount of information that gets dropped into your brain like a packet, and it unfolds over time. And it's so much information. So it's like walking around like a dithering idiot for a long time, just trying to sort out what it was, what the information meant. Some of it was highly abstract, symbolic. And I knew my job was to take this information and downstep it into common, everyday human terms, into what everyone could understand, regardless of, well, as long as they speak English, to some point, but it didn't matter what their religion was, their cultural background, their education. It had to be very universally presented. And so I broke it down. It took me over 2 years to break it down into this program called the Quantum Health Transformation. And I offer it I was told I had to offer it for free, which I'm glad to do. It's not just free, it's also anybody can use any part of it. I appreciate it when people give me credit, but besides that, like for instance, Don, you and Spinja have talked about starting an alternative healing and consulting organization or set of services. You could use this program absolutely for free if you want to incorporate any of it into your program, and I actually encourage people to do so. So I just want to basically give a little screen share. Whoops, I guess I'm not doing it right. Sorry, go here.
No worries.
Oh, it says you've disabled participant screen sharing. So I need you to go into participants, and I think it's the 3 little dots, and allow me to screen share.
Oh dear.
That's okay. Technology is challenging for all of us, even me.
Bottom there.
Where's this?
Right there.
Oh, there we go.
Yeah.
Sorry. So click on that.
Oh.
Allow.
Sorry,
just bear with me 1 second.
Okay. Let me know when you're ready. I don't want to rush you.
Oh dear.
Well, while you're doing that, I'll just continue to talk about it.
Yeah.
So this program is so super perfect for anyone who's going through ascension symptoms. And it involves all,
hold on. Oh dear.
It's okay.
I am not doing well here.
Oh, okay. Well, then maybe we won't be able to share it. So let me just try.
I will add it in if you want to send it to me. I will edit.
Okay, that would be great. So I'll just read from it. So it's called the Quantum Health Transformation. This is the 2.0 version of it, and it was created by me. And it says right at the very bottom that people can use this, copy it, and share it under the fair use clause, as long as they give me credit, which would be nice. And so it sort of starts with step 9, and you work your way back in descending order to step 1. And I have it loosely affiliated with the chakras. So I have 9 chakras. You actually have more than the basic 7 chakras that most people are familiar with. You've got one that's actually about 1.5 feet below your feet, and you've got another one that's about 1 foot or 1.5 feet above your head. So I took the one from the below my feet and called it black. That's step 9. And it's introduction to nubby ball, a nubby ball tool, and light shadow integration. And what that does is, I'll just show you quickly a nubby ball. I have an example right here. Oh, it's not going to show up either because of, if you can see it, it's a sphere. Whoops, it's a sphere and it's covered in a whole bunch of nubs.
Yeah.
So we're taught that everything is good and bad, good or bad, black or white, male or female, up or down. And that's not true. It gives us only a fraction of reality. So what step 9 does is it teaches you how to expand your whole concept of reality. Because if you took a ball or a sphere with infinite number of nubs, and you took the very North Pole point and call that like good, and the very South Pole point and call that evil, you've got all the points in between. You've got infinite possibilities that come between the binary that we've been given of good and bad, up and down, black or white. There's infinite possibilities. And so it's a tool that I teach you how to use so that you can expand your awareness and your way of thinking. And then it also teaches you how to use the tool in order to do your own light shadow work. Because we all think we're in the light and love all the time, but no, we all have a shadow side. And I think that needs to be integrated. We don't want to get rid of it. We want to listen to it because that's got half the information. So when we have light and shadow kind of together like 2 siblings that don't always get along, then you have the full picture and you can move forward in your life. And so that's why we want to do shadow integration work. And it also, once we do that, we realize that everybody is more complex. You can't just paint them with a brush and say they're a bad person or a good person. And it stops us from projecting our own shit onto other people. It prevents us from scapegoating or targeting, and we become more compassionate, loving people. Then after that is step 8, which is red, and it's loosely affiliated with the base or root chakra and the color red. And it's all about grounding and the birth of core belief systems. So first of all, I teach you how to do grounding. And a lot of you are familiar with a lot of the concepts in this step, including things like affirmations, visualization, self-massage, how to self-soothe, how to self-regulate, how to even pay attention to our posture, because that affects our chakra system and the energy, how it's flowing into our body. But it also includes lessons on how to identify what your core belief systems are so that you can work on them and alter them to your own benefit. And in step 8, I also talk a lot about orgone generators, which you can find on my website. And they're basically crystals and metals that are in a matrix of organic resin. And when the resin cures, it shrinks and it puts permanent pressure on the crystals, and that causes them to be piezoelectric, and they emit a charge, and they start to bring orgone, which can also be known as prana or chi, or even Holy Spirit, brings it in and retunes it to the frequency of the crystals. And it's like what Angel Wings said, every crystal has its own personality, its own special purpose, its own different gifts that it has to us spiritually and physically. So what orgone generators also do is they absorb the negative or ambient energy from around us. And that can be from electromagnetic frequencies, or even being around people that are just really scary or make us feel uncomfortable. And they transmute it into beautiful crystal energy that's then streamed out into the immediate area. So it's very, very beneficial for grounding. And so I get into that in step 8. Step 7 is orange. It's affiliated with the sacral chakra. And there we talk about developing new core belief systems and male-female energy integration. Now, everybody has a combination of male and female. The left side of the body is our female energy, and the right side of our body is our male energy. And when we really integrate those two energies into our way of being, we're actually more powerful people. And it also helps us to throw out some of the stereotypes of what it means to be a man or what it means to be a woman. I also give a short lesson on the whole transgender thing. You know, we never heard much about this until the last 20 years. Why are there so many transgender people? And I explain what it means to be transgender and how transgender people get that way. So long story short, it has a lot to do with toxins in our environment that affect the fetus as it's developing, actually affect the development of the brain and the body, so that people are born not 100% female or male biologically. And it really is, they're very much affected. So people don't realize chemicals, you know, that we're using in our grooming products at the hairdressers, chemicals that people are using at work, you know, to do painting and different kind of chemical things, cleaning products, pharmaceuticals, all of these things put what they call androgens into the body, and it affects the sperm and the egg, but also the fetus as it's developing. And so I just thought that would shed some light on sort of a new subject that a lot of people are quite confused about. It doesn't say that they're good or bad people, because that's really on a spiritual level. It doesn't, to me personally, it doesn't matter what you call yourself. You could call yourself or identify as anything. It doesn't make you a good or bad person. It's only by, you know, applying spiritual principles and working at becoming a better person, which includes light shadow work and sometimes includes male female, which is like yin and yang. So yin and yang were never really are not really separated. The yin and yang symbol is spinning so fast that it's integrated into one, but definitely we want to integrate our energies. Yeah. Step 6 is very comprehensive. It's based on the sacral chakra, yellow, and it's all about detoxifying. So it's broken down actually into several parts. It's broken down into external detoxification, where we find out what things we're using in our environment that are actually toxic. And then when the body is toxic, it's inflamed, and it's so busy trying to look after that, it's very hard for us to make spiritual progress. The next part of that is internal detoxification, where a lot of what people are thinking is food and what they're eating and consuming is actually very, very toxic and is causing them to become sick. And also, you know, just basically providing lots of customers for the pharmaceutical industry. And then there's emotional detoxification, where we learn in part 3 that all of our emotions are there to work for us. None of them are bad, none of them are good, but there's ways that we can detoxify our emotions and really put them to good use. Step 5, which is green, and it's affiliated with the heart chakra, takes a look at food as medicine, and food also as being another source of universal love energy. And there's no one or right or wrong way to eat. You can be a vegetarian, you can be a vegan, you can be a raw vegan, you can be an omnivore, you can be a carnivore, you can do keto. And everybody is different. We have different needs and different ways that make us feel good. But the point is, we want to gravitate towards real food as it was created for us to consume, so that we can be as strong and feel as well as possible. Step 4, blue, is affiliated with the throat chakra, and it's about understanding the power of heuristics and speaking your truth. Now, you can't speak your truth until you know your truth. And it's difficult to know your truth until we step outside of the construct or the socialization that we've been programmed into that may or may not benefit us. And so there's all kinds of information about how the words we use are symbols, and they actually put forth energy that affects our reality and the reality of other people, and all kinds of things that are influencing how we're perceiving reality. And we need to sort of break free from that and create our own before we can truly know our truth, and then we could speak our truth. Step 3 is indigo, and it's based on the third eye, and it's understanding and using perception within the construct and manifesting change. Seeing is believing. So a lot of people go, well, I'll believe it when I see it. But maybe what we need to do is see it in our mind's eye and then believe it, and then it becomes possible. It's really quite a different process. And it also helps you to, it really helps you to manifest. Like, I got lots of tips on how to manifest and change your reality and bring, it's kind of like the law of attraction, but it's way, way more powerful even than that. Then step 2, violet, which is affiliated with the crown chakra, integration with higher selves. So this teaches you ways that you can form your own spiritual framework. You don't need to use somebody else's. If you choose to do religion, that's great if it makes you happy. But if you don't want to, you can create that on your own. So it doesn't exactly tell you how to do it. It just tells you ways that you can create that for yourselves, and how you can form a soul team, how you can connect your higher self, how to become your own inner guru. And it basically gives you ideas and a jumping off point so you can create on your own what you need to really fulfill what you need to be healthy and happy. And then white, which is the chakra above the head, helps you to achieve a state of bliss, and some what I call spiritual exercises that help everybody to just basically, it's like opening portals. I'll give you an example. One of the spiritual exercises teaches us why we want to have more patience with ourselves and other people. And the funny thing is when you exercise one of these positive attributes or spiritual attributes, you become a better person and a stronger person, but you find that funny things start happening around you. Reality shifts in a way you never dreamed possible. And it's like it opens portals. So the virtues are really important, you know? And so anyway, that teaches you how to do that. And I'm actually wanting to start working on a 3.0 version of this program, and I'm looking for volunteers. And some people who want to have me teach them through Zoom on how each step, then they can take that learning and go off and teach whatever they want from it using the same principles, but it'll also help to fine tune it, because I find that about every 5 or 6 years, because more I come to a more accurate understanding of each of those steps. And so it changes a little bit, evolves over time. And so I want to create the 3.0 version of that. So thank you, Dawn, for letting me present the Quantum Health Transformation Program. Like I said, it's absolutely free. You can access it through my website, and I'm hoping you'll have the link below. I'll just tell people who might be listening to this on audio. It's www.KarenHoltonHealthCoach.com. And it's spelled KarenHolton, healthcoach.com. And look under the free resources tab. There's tons of information there that can help you besides the Quantum Health Transformation Program. But I hope people take advantage of it. And I'd love to hear any feedback or comments they might have about it. So yeah, so I wear a few different hats, and I'd love it if people came and watch my videos and drop me comments, tell me what they think. It'd be great. And I love doing what I do. And my whole life has changed. And I'm the happiest and healthiest I have ever been. And I'm an old lady. I'm going to be 68 in a couple of weeks. And my life is just getting better and better and better. So I'm really grateful for everything. And thank you, Dawn, for letting me, talk about it, or talk about the program.
thank you for sharing that. And I myself will actually be looking into it. And right about here in the video, I'm going to add your information on your orgone generators and all of your links through your commercial. And you also kind of set me up for something that I wanted to touch on too. A close group, well, one of the bass guitarists for an indie band in Ontario, Carbon Dallas, is about to release a video and song about addiction to pharmaceuticals and its detriment on society right now. So I just want to give them a quick shout out because they are doing something very important for this society. It's guys about my age, and they're just sick of watching everybody get hurt by the pharmaceutical industry, and people we're supposed to trust and tell us what is safe for us and it's not. I won't go too much into that because I'd like this to stay on YouTube. But yeah, I'll actually be airing that video after it releases on a future show as well. So I thank you for bringing that point about how dangerous overuse of over-the-counter substances can be for ourselves and our minds.
Yep. I myself just ended up with terrible health situations from following my doctor's advice. So I'm not giving medical advice here. None of this is medical advice. And I'm not telling any of you that you should or shouldn't go see the doctor or take the pills that you've been prescribed. That's none of my business, and I wouldn't do that. But I'm just saying, for myself and my own context, I just really ended up with some terrible problems, had 8 major surgeries, lost major organs, all kinds of problems from following the advice of my doctor. So now, of course, now I'm connected spiritually, so I just intuitively know what to do. And I use plant-based medicines are all I use now. But it took me years to get to this point. I had to look at what I was eating, what I was thinking, my sleeping habits, on and on and on it seems to go, but definitely worth the effort.
Absolutely. So right here is where we're going to put your ad. And our music feature this week is a past guest and a member of Rob's Discord on Typical Skeptic, is Touchdown Tommy Edwards. He's a targeted individual and a former semi-professional athlete for the state of Virginia. You can watch past episodes of Typical Skeptic to catch up on him, but he's also a very talented musician who suffers from a CTE brain injury from playing football. So I'm going to put that right.
YouTube will not monetize me, so if you enjoy my content and want to support my efforts, help me to cover my expenses by visiting my shop to buy yourself a beautiful orgone generator. Zendome's Orgonite are my unique brand, and they are ethically sourced, handmade, and double charged for maximum effect. They are only available through my website, www.KarenHoltonHealthCoach.com. Many people are finding comfort with Zendome's orgone generators, commonly called Orgonite. They are a simple compound which balance ambient energy by converting negative energy and EMF into positive healing energy with many easily confirmed health benefits. They are a simple compound with alchemic and energetic properties. These devices function as self-driven, continuously operating, highly efficient, negative to positive energy transmutation factories. They help diminish the harmful effects of electromagnetic frequency radiation by attracting and converting negative energies, retuning them into new and more healthful sound and light wave patterns. And they help to purify the atmosphere and accelerate plant growth. They also help stimulate positive mood and are a natural remedy for poor sleep patterns. When Orgonite is within range of any corded or wireless electronic device, it will efficiently and continuously transform that energy into orgone as it is being transmitted. This essentially creates orgone energy transmitters out of any and all emitters of harmful negative energy. You can use these devices for focusing the mind, healing, meditation, and for spiritual growth. Zendome's Orgonite are my unique brand of orgone generators, and they are only available through my website, Don't be fooled by imitations. Check out my website to see my latest selection at www.karenholtonhealthcoach.com. That's KarenHolton healthcoach.com.
All right, here we go. This is a song called Masquerade, y'all. And 1, 2, 3, 4. Take this mystery, open up the window and set me free. Well, it's just another day. The sun is shining and the wind is on its way. Well, I'll be back someday. Before too long, well, I'll be here to stay. So keep on holding on. Well, I know it seems forever, but baby, please be strong and keep holding on. Wait, I see a new horizon. I'm standing in the doorway, busy analyzing. This is not a song for me. It's not a song for you. It's not a song for misery. I'll be back someday. Before too long, I'll be here to stay. So keep on holding on. Well, I know it seems forever, but baby, please be strong. Keep holding on. And take this mystery, open up the window and set me free. This is just a masquerade. Any fool could see the plot through this thin charade. So keep on holding on. No seems forever, but baby, please be strong. Keep on holding on and on. Well, I love you, baby, and it won't be long. Keep that lamplight shining, keep that home light strong. And take this mystery, open up the window and my heart and set me free. Well, it's just another day. Well, the sun is shining and the wind is on its way. I'll be back someday. Before too long, well, I'll be here to stay. So keep on holding on. Well, I know it seems forever, but baby, please be strong. Keep holding on. Keep that lamp light shining, keep that home light strong. Yes, and we'll be back someday. We'll be back someday for good now. And we'll do a little breakdance, b-boy style. I was on broken right there.
From there, if we want to carry on, and it kind of fits in with you again, Karen, about RA Castaldo. Castaldo. I'm going to mispronounce his name. I knew it. Castaldo. I'm sorry, Ra. I'm screwing up your name badly. Who's going to be a guest on your show in February?
Yeah, and
Castaldo.
you guys are also coming up. Let me see. So for those of you who want to get to know Dawn and Canadian Spinja more, let me just, sorry, flipping through my notes here. Sorry for interrupting. Yeah, you guys are on the 14th. That's Valentine's Day. You're going to be on my show, on the Quantum Guide show. So I'm really looking forward to that. And then Ra's going to be on the 28th of February.
That's cool.
That's amazing. And yeah, so that brings us into Ra Castaldo. I am so sorry, sir. I cannot spit your name out today. He was on episode 1019 of the Typical Skeptic. And this man, first of all, looks like he's about half of his age, but he's actually as old as I am. Like, I don't know what Spirit's doing to keep that guy young, but he wants him here spreading his word, that's for sure. And I guess we'll start off at the beginning, which is the beginning of his life. And I just kind of want to get your guys' take on it. His arrival into this world was a near-death experience.
Yes.
And my personal thought on that was like, he clearly has clairvoyance and very many clairs. And I was wondering if you guys think the NDE right off the start could be related to that, or where do you guys take that?
Yeah, I just wanted to mention, Don, you earlier you put me on as spotlight. So in case you don't want me to be full screen and you'd like other, yourself or Jayme to be full screen, I just wanted to remind you about that. So so basically, if you don't mind, I'll just say what I wanted to say about Ra. So he was born in the placenta, but with also his with the umbilical cord wrapped around his neck. And so people that are born like that often are what they call under the veil or more connected to spirit. And he believes that definitely led to his childhood experiences. So he's always been able to perceive energies, and especially at night. And he even had some problems with elementals, which you could call fairies. Some of them are very nefarious, trying to get him to bite wires behind the TV and things like that.
Can I jump in there?
Yeah.
He brought that up, and I got like the truth bumps, God bumps, goosebumps, whatever you want to call them. I specifically remember being the same age. Him and I are born in the same year and having the same experience with probably damn near the same TV.
Oh,
and just like, I remember hearing the voice in my head, bite the wires and you can play with, like, damn near exactly what he said. Like, I was sitting here with my mouth open going, son of a, I don't know if that's MK Ultra for kids or if it was something messing with us from the other side or what, but no, you hit on that. And it's like, yeah, that was in my notes too. I'm so glad you went there.
It's our multi-dimensional connection. It's our connection, our etherical connection and other connections. What she mentioned, the trans-dimensional, because I had that happen too. I had something tell me, and I randomly stuck a fork in a light socket and got electrocuted.
Go.
As we were talking about this, I just remembered a memory. Like, I don't remember doing this, but my mom told me about when I was tiny. I took a coat hanger and almost put it through the cheek of my mouth. Like put it in my mouth and almost put it through my cheek, like a wire coat hanger.
Yeah, just strange things. Like, you get these internal voices that tell you to do things even at a young age. And when he brought that up, I was just like, oh my God, like, I know exactly the voice and who told him to do it. I don't know who it is, but.
Well, and actually, you know what? I know people might want to see this as a negative thing, but I honestly think it was something positive. I think it was something stopping us from almost like being disconnected. It's like something trying to stop us from not being able to connect. I think it was actually something positive, but they had to do it in a negative way to like block a frequency or stop that mind stuff going around that bothers people.
Sorry, Karen, I didn't mean to take your ball and run on that one.
No, I made notes. So
Okay.
I don't want to ramble through and just take over the show either. So that was sort of the first part that he talked about. And so it led to him doing a lot of internal work, shadow work, and how to deal with stress and problems. And so he has no regrets, but he believes that the way he was born, he's also part of what they call the Striga bloodlines. And these babies are often born in the placenta, or in, not in the placenta, in the sac. I don't know.
Yeah, the
Water
amniotic.
chamber, right? Their mom's waters don't break, and then they're born like that, and they're literally under a veil, and they tend to be more spiritual.
Yeah, when you were saying about like how he's learned to deal with stress, Spenja and I actually talked about it right at that point of the show. It's like, I swear Generation X was like not given any guidelines on how to deal with emotions, stress, feelings, thoughts. Like, and now we're supposed to raise the last generation of the three waves with, and I think they did it on purpose. Like, oh, we'll dumb them down even more. So there's no way the next ones can help, except some of us realize, wait a minute, we're being screwed with here. We're not being told everything, and started teaching ourselves. And much like Raw, I left home at 15 years old because I was all done being a kid, and I was sure I was going to be dead by 25. And I actually had a NDE at 25 on a motorcycle. And even the officer that came into the hospital when I was being rushed into surgery stopped the gurney with a handful of Polaroids. He's like, I have to ask you a question. I'm like, what's that? And I'm kind of in and out of it. He's like, did you duck? And I'm like, what do you mean? And he flips over this Polaroid, and the front tire of my motorcycle was touching the handlebars. He's like, there's no way you didn't break your neck. I'm like, what do you mean? He's like, the bike bounced off the road 5 times with you attached to it. My leg had actually cauterized to the exhaust pipe. Right? I was stuck to the motorcycle. I should be dead. And I've had about 8 NDEs at least. But when he said, like, left at 15, thought he'd be dead by 25, so much this guy says seems like there was a program for our generation for gifted individuals. Or, yeah.
I agree. And each wave, there's more and more and more. So the first wave, of people who were awakening, first of all, we were born into a really hostile environment where everybody thought we were crazy, and we had to go against all of society. And there wasn't very many of us. So a lot of us died, from addictions and suicides and just, accidents and stuff. So there wasn't enough to really be there for the Generation X. So the Generation X came, and then they had parents that were like, didn't have a clue on what these kids needed, to develop. And then you guys had to kind of grow up on your own, right? But hopefully there's enough out there for the third wave, which seems to be all the little children, my grandchildren, and and hopefully, although my daughter, she's very secular, she's not spiritual. And so I don't know, but her little kids, they remember past lives and stuff. It's pretty amazing.
I tell this story, and I actually just told it on Maya's radio show last night to Kendrea. I was at the mall a few weeks ago, and I had an hour or so to kill before I had to go pick up Spenja from work. And so I grab a sandwich and a coffee, and I'm sitting down, and there's a group of 5 little girls, and they got 2 different moms, right? And the one little girl goes, I'm 8. That means I'm infinite. And I'm like, damn, that's a hell of a concept for an 8-year-old to know. And then her friend looks at her, doesn't miss a breath, goes, I might be only 7, but I'm spirit, so I've been here forever. And I was like, yeah, you are. You're damn right you are. Like, of course I didn't say that because I'm some weirdo in a mall, right? I'm just like, take that, put it in your head, hold that for later, share it with everybody. But these kids know.
Yeah.
Well, and I wanted to share too is that I know I can resonate with all that. And literally at 8 years old, I knew I was an angelic being. I knew I was a higher, and I knew I was an incarnation of something special. And I tried telling my mom that at 8 years old, and I got the typical, there's no such thing. There's no way you can, there's no way an angel is a human. And I'm just like, seriously? You know, and I struggled with so many things. I even knew money was fake at 8. I was trying to tell my mom that concept and it blew her mind and she didn't even know how to respond. Because I knew at 8, I'm like, wait a minute. I said, why does this cost this? Just because someone said so doesn't mean that's what Ashkelon costs and all that.
Yeah.
And, you know, so I just, sorry, my kid had to interrupt. I told her to be quiet. She always has to remind me what time it is because make sure I'm not late for work. Oh,
yeah. So he also touched on plant medicines, which you'd mentioned earlier. And I like how he referenced, you know, the difference between these, how it seems to have become like a weekend thing for these spiritual weekend warriors versus, sorry, I have a husky about to knock my stand over. A spiritual weekend warrior versus somebody who's doing it for the right reasons, I guess, getting to your higher self versus just getting high. And I love that he referenced that because, like, I've talked to Frank about Mother Aya and mushrooms and things like that. And I think it might be the next logical step. You know, I microdosed when I was 20 and didn't even realize I was doing it. I bought a large bag of mushrooms off of somebody and was high for about 9 days straight, but not so high I didn't know what was going on. I just felt great. Like I was microdosing before it was cool. And like, it's something I was thinking about. You know, I remember having some of the most prominent and functional thoughts at some of the most tumultuous times. Like my 20s were a mess, but that 9 days of being on shrooms, everything seemed to line up and I was clear. I was concise. I knew what I wanted. I knew what I was doing. And it's like, damn, that it really is your higher self, isn't it?
Yeah, I think, sorry, I think that that psychedelics definitely have a place, have a place. I've used them myself. It was interesting that he talked about microdosing. I did microdosing last January, a year ago. I did it for about a month and a half, and it really helped a lot. It helped all, you know, all that kind of chatter in my head all calmed right down, and it was just fantastic. What was interesting, what he did say though, is that he says to avoid porn and alcohol, and I agree. I had to quit drinking completely. It's been years now, about, I don't know, 10 years since I quit drinking alcohol. I cannot do alcohol. It just messes me right up. But and I don't actually watch porn. I guess porn is a more recent phenomena. You know, the closest thing to porn we had in my day was National Geographic's magazine. So, but anyway, but I thought that was great advice because porn and alcohol can be huge addictions. I'm not saying everybody, but I'm just saying that that psychedelics have their place. I agree.
Yeah.
Seems like the porn almost comes off as like a programming. It's like a program that you got to break free from, and just like cleansing and working with your shadow self, it's part of all that too.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. Like, and I apologize if you can hear snoring. I have an overweight husky right beside my camera because he had to camp out there. So, but no, I agree. And it was funny watching him and Rob get into that about, you know, what porn used to be back in the mid 80s. You know, it really was like this hidden subculture. And like, if you had to go behind this sheet and, you know, it was just this horrendous, like, oh, it's Bigfoot. Anyway, we won't get into that. But I just loved watching those two go on about that.
Yeah.
And
the honesty.
I get it because, you know, alcohol, spirits, I actually went into rehab. I've been sober for 3 years. 3 years now. And that was a life choice because like my alcoholism almost screwed up our relationship. And I was just like, no, that wasn't even me that decided one night in the middle of an argument, I'm going to flip the table and kick my own shit. That wasn't me. Nope. And she even looked at me when everything was said and done. She's like, you weren't even home. Like there was just nothing there. Yeah. Something grabbed a hold of me when I was drunk. And I was like, okay, I don't like that experience. I am done with alcohol.
Your eyes changed color.
Yeah, she said, like, my eyes, the color of my eyes actually changed mid-argument. Right. Yeah. Go ahead.
Something was trying to control you and take over. I noticed that seems to be a common thing. And the more connected we are, the more they try to mess with us, the opposite side that doesn't want us to wake up. I noticed there's a lot that comes against you after waking up to what more and more of my abilities and more what we're learning about ourselves. And some of those accidents are not accidents. Those are like a direct attacks trying to stop you from becoming what you need to do.
Yeah. I actually have a friend that I might bring on the show at a later point who was in rehab with me. He had relapsed a couple of times and things have gone good, things have gone bad. I'm not going to tell you too much of his story because I want to have him on later. But he had made the decision to go to his family's island and his life in a swimming accident. And he had his bottle of whiskey with him and he was on his way up and he just decided to crack it. Well, thank the universe, he got stopped for impaired that night and imprisoned. And now he's in the middle of his spiritual awakening.
Yep.
Wow.
That's actually reconnected. Is he got a hold of me, and it was kind of funny because he's like trying to soft sell me on ascension and spiritual awakening. I was like, "Oh, buddy, do I have a story for you?"
And boy, did you have a story for him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, exactly. It was like he's like, "Oh, this and that." I was like, "Yeah, I know." He's like, "What?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I know." So,
Yeah.
Trying to keep myself on topic this time. With Ra, he was talking about the Vedic a lot and how far back they go. And this actually brought, sparked my thought process to Chris's movie about the occult Louisiana and the mounds that have been dated back to 9,000 BC. And whether or not, I would love to ask Ra if he thinks or you guys can chime in on this, if there's any relation between the Vedic and these mountains, because the Vedic were native people. And in Chris's documentary, he says they're rather large. I'm just making up my own idea here, but it just kind of resonated with me that these things may be related.
Oh,
yeah. And
sorry. No, go ahead.
Well, because I just realized that where I'm at, in Wisconsin, there's a lot of mounds as well. And there's hidden mounds as well that people are discovering. And they're really big. And some were proven to have actual giants buried there as well. And I think there's a serious connection as to why we're in certain places where we're supposed to be too. There's an energetic connection to everything.
Yeah.
Yep. And I was going to add two things. One is that I had a couple episodes ago, I guess 2 weeks ago, I had a guest on my show who actually worked for the Smithsonian, and he said, yeah, and I asked him point blank, I said, is it true that whenever giant skeletons are found, that the Smithsonian comes and takes them and hides them beneath the Smithsonian? And he said, yeah, it's absolutely true. He's seen them for himself. So,
wow.
Yeah. So if you want to know more about it, you might want to go back and watch that. But as far as Ra goes, he said that all the ancient cultures had advanced technology. They were ancient Vedic cultures based on wisdom and knowledge, and they were solar dynasties in tune with nature and the universe. And he said spirituality and science were combined, and that the learned masters were warriors, shaman, priests, and they harnessed these solar energies. And then there was the Vedic wars, which split into all the different root nations that became the nations of today. So I just want to add to that based on my own research, absolutely, there was advanced technology based on plasma physics, with plasma is the fourth state of matter, and it was global. It was not just back east, it was global. And so you've got, the megalithic sites in South America, you've got them even in Canada, even where I live, even in all over the States, giants and the mounds, all of it is part of an amazing, amazing history that's been taken away from us.
Yeah. Thunder Bay.
Sorry.
Spinja just reminded me that Thunder Bay is also known as the Sleeping
Thunder Bay,
Giant.
Ontario.
Thunder Bay, Ontario is known as the Sleeping Giant. There you go through the Rockies. I'm sure you've been there, Karen. You know what you're looking at.
Yep.
You and I both know what you're looking at up there. And yeah, it is undeniable when you get up as close as you can. If you're going up to Banff or Lake Louise, what you're looking at and what you can see when you're just driving past it and have your eyes open, you're like, oh shit, it's real.
Yeah, it's amazing. It's really amazing. Ra also gets into that everything in the universe is actually an information highway. So we get CMEs from our sun, and what they actually do is poke holes in our magnetosphere so that energy can come through. And that's what's causing the ascension. That's what is causing us to evolve. And that's how we're getting that information to all of us right now. But it's so fascinating. So I asked him to be on my show because I want to get right into the plasma physics, and I want to get right into how far back it goes, and how all of the cultures, all of the amazing cultures, and I'm talking pre-Egyptian, right, cultures, even maybe pre-Assyrian cultures, how they were very technologically advanced and they understood plasma physics. Sorry, am I rambling on too much? I tend to do.
I have an direct energy connection to that as well. I can physically feel when every time those plasma ejections come to Earth, I can feel it right through me, because I feel like a lot of us are actually directly anchoring all that as well for everybody else. Because right now I'm actually getting something big time. I'm getting a really big energy burst right now, and literally just while you were just before you were talking about that, there was a notification on here that someone just went live, someone I follow all the time, about the solar flares going off, and there was actually just a little bit ago a big plasma release.
Yeah.
Interesting, because the last 3 or 4 days I've been getting what they call migraine auras, where you get these visual effects, and they're huge spirals with flashing geometric symbols, and I can't even really see. I can't read. I can't even watch a show. I can listen, but I can't even watch it because they've been so dramatic. And that seems to be, but I haven't actually gotten the migraine. And so that happens to me. And I also get ringing in my ears. And sometimes I'll even get where I lose my balance. And that, so I'm really sensitive to it too. So I hear you and I totally believe you.
Because I see a ring right now, a circle, and then I'll see like there's like a square, like there's like a geometric stuff, and there's like an M in the middle. And
Yeah.
it's cool.
It's probably triangles, 3 triangles that look like an M. So I found it very dramatic just in the last 3-4 days. Wow. Just very dramatic. And I'm not hallucinating either. They're actual, I can see them and it's funny, I cover one eye and I can see them, and I cover the other eye and I see them the same. So that is interesting that both eyes and both parts of my brain are registering the same symbols.
Well, yeah, because a migraine will block off one eye. My mom actually has horrible migraines and has since I was a kid. So I know exactly what you're trying to do is it's just a migraine, because I've watched my mom do it my entire life.
Yeah.
So no, it's not a hallucination. Just to jump back to the CMEs, you and I almost wrote down the same notes. This is hilarious. Like you covered everything that was in my notes as well. So with him saying about the plasma having information and the light causes the birds to mimic the sounds.
Yes,
right?
I've heard that from other people. That is so interesting.
Now, here's where I wanted to go with that is it's said in the Emerald tablets that they contain the language of light, or the bird language, which is supposed to be an all healing language. Is that literally what the birds are translating to us, and why it's so pleasing? Because they are actually beaming us with healing frequencies that they've picked up from these CMEs.
I believe so. And more than that, the chirping of the birds even has an influence on the opening and closing of the stomas that are on plants. So on leaves of plants on the underside, there's these little stomas that open and close for them to be able to breathe. So we're all connected, but you can even go online and listen to the frequencies that come from the different planets in our solar system. And the frequencies that come from planet Earth, and I don't know if it's an interaction between the sun and the magnetosphere or whatever, I'm not a scientist, but it sounds like a bunch of chirping birds. It's very interesting.
Well, it's more interesting. I just realized that I was hearing chirping, kind of similar to birds, but it was chirping in general, and it was happening like at midnight, 1 o'clock in the morning, even 2 o'clock in the morning, and it just kept on going, and I'm just like, that's weird. And then now there's recent stuff, people recording actually that and hearing that. So I'm like, okay, I'm not losing my mind. But at the same time, sometimes I think I'm hearing some of the dragons as well, the dragon spirits coming out. Because they have somewhat of a bird similar chirp, but it's more of a high pitch. Connections within connections.
Did you have anything else written down, Karen? Because that you covered so much of my notes again.
Well, I'm sorry, I don't mean to take
like
off,
mine.
but it's just so fascinating. Basically, Ra says that that the energies, when they hit us, they travel within the fluids within our bodies, and you know, we have salts within our bodies. What's interesting about that is orgone generators and crystals also interact with the salts in the body and the fluids within the body. That's why I recommend people take them in the tub and help restructure the water, because when you're in the tub, you're actually grounded. Your plumbing is grounded. All your electrical outlets are grounded through your plumbing system. And so when it's cold out and you don't want to go out and ground them with bare feet in the grass, you can just take a nice hot bath, put in some Epsom salts, put in some sea salt, put in some crystals, some orgone generators, hopefully the flat ones, not the pyramid ones. And then he was saying too that and this ties into the whole psychedelic thing, is he says that all the energy of the universe is traveling like snakes. You know, it's traveling like snakes through everything, and it actually stimulates the magnetosphere, which protects our Earth. And then he gets into the sound frequencies like what we talked. That's about all I got. But yeah, I actually did see it before, but I watched it again just so that I would have it. And then I made some notes because I do that.
Jayme, did you have anything else?
Well, yeah. Well, I wanted to bring back the part where she was talking about the negative and positive and all that. That's definitely a thing I've awakened to as well, and realized it's more of a neutral. It's more neutral. It's not positive or negative. There's like a big discernment with all that energy, because so many things, learning to process my own gifts through this energy, is not all of it negativity is actually an attack, or as negative as it comes off. Is sometimes it's a strong, intense, different energy is all. I mean, there's so much people try to say is negative, but it's not. Like working with the dragons, I can actually feel when they're fighting with each other, because it must be like an empathic connection with them, and so that comes off as negative energy. But that's not directly at me. I'm just sensing what's around me. So you're not necessarily always being attacked either. There could be other things around defending you and protecting you that you're sensing as well.
Yeah, I agree. And also a lot of what we're going through, which may feel negative at the time, we don't realize until later it was for our benefit and for our highest good. So even the ascension symptoms can really be a nuisance, really cause you some grief. But it's what it leads to, especially when we figure out how to alter our body chemistry through what we eat and our exposure to different toxins, or eliminating, you know, toxins from our body and from our environment and stuff. What happens is we're elevated to a place that's so fantastic. I personally am very happy that I've gone through all my trials and tribulations, because they made me, you know, I don't know, kind of a freaky old lady, but a pretty happy one, gotta say.
Oh, you're one of the most level-headed people I've talked to. And it's funny because I can actually bring this back to Rob for a second. He talks about how you find spirituality when things stop resonating. And I'll use the term from one of your recent episodes about common reality. You know, so many people are okay just being in that common reality and, like, you know, just getting by and making do. And when you start to look outside of why you're unhappy and what it is that's actually affecting you and why it doesn't need to be there, it really starts to break down that a lot of this is just bullshit. Like, and you put it so eloquently, but so easy to understand in that episode. You basically broke down the sociological constructs of control in a matter of like 5 minutes. And it's like, oh my God, why aren't they teaching this to kids in school? Oh, wait, because schools, we know what school is.
Part of the problem.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, it was an absolutely brilliant analogy that you laid out, and it was well worth the watch. And I would recommend anybody go back and watch that episode if you have any confusion as to why you're uncomfortable in common reality right now. There's a reason.
I think you should put a direct link in the show notes.
I'll put a direct link in the show notes, like people said, because it is a good one.
Thank you.
And I was just goofing for some reason. This is meant for me to share right now. It's synchronicities, and it's nothing but numbers on it. So it says this card validation of progress. You're making your ascension path and offers an invitation to see the bigger picture. You're getting in sync with divine time and are receiving many signs and symbols, numbers like 1111 and the 333, 222, 555, all them numbers, and nudges of inspiration altering you to your divine connection and calling out to you to integrate the higher light of spirit. This is a wake-up call of sorts, urging you to look at your present experience from the perspective of spirit and to step back and view your life from beyond the veil of illusion. There are no coincidences. Pay attention. What are you just thinking about? What scenarios are playing in your life? Your angels bring the gentle reminder that you manifest through your thoughts and beliefs. So feel, think, and experience what is truly in alignment with what you want. With increased awareness and by quieting your mind and opening your heart, you can feel and experience frequency, love, insight broadcast right now. Through awareness of divine synchronicities, you can deeply align the magic of the multiverse.
Right on, sister.
I think that's a pretty good message to leave this on, actually. Do you want to run us through your information one more time?
How I can get in touch with her.
How to get a hold of you, what your website?
Okay, yeah, sure, thank you. Karen Holton TV. You can find, that's what I'm called on YouTube, Telegram, Rumble. I'm having some problems with Rumble. For some reason, not everything is getting backed up, but I am on Rumble. I'm on X, and I'm part of the Forbidden Knowledge Network. And so my podcasts are streamed audio podcasts on all audio platforms. And my website is www.karenholtonhealthcoach.com if you'd like to access my free quantum health transformation program. And there's tons of other stuff under the free resources tab. Thank you so much for having me on the show. It's been an absolute pleasure to hang out with you guys. And
thank you for
yeah, it's been great. And I can't wait to have you on my show.
Oh, looking forward to it. Jayme, do you want to give everybody your info?
Oh, well, I just have YouTube and Jayme Jacobson on Facebook. You can friend me anytime, and I do card readings occasionally for people if they really need it. They just reach out to me on Facebook Messenger, or if you're in Rob's Discord. And we probably should put the Rob's Discord in the
description as well.
Yeah.
I tried to find you under Angel Wings on YouTube, and I couldn't find you. So I'm wondering if you could put the link in the description below so people can find you, Angel Wings, because you've got some really awesome content. You're very wise for a young person. You're a wise old soul for sure.
Thank you.
Right.
Definitely. We'll have to hunt that out down and then put that down. Yeah, because the angel wings, it's like 5-2 something. It's like a number after it as well.
Yeah, I'm sorry, but I looked and looked and couldn't find it. I want to be able to find it. I want to subscribe and I can't because I couldn't find you. So
I'll get it into the description of this one. I'm on YouTube as Don Rogers 78. I'm on Rumble as March 4th Productions. That's the number 4 with TH. It's kind of a running joke. Both me and my stepson were born on March 4th, and we just keep marching forth. And I went back to social media strictly for business purposes, but if you want to hit me up there, you can too. Thank you guys for watching this week. We will be back next week with another review, another guest, and hopefully more interesting questions. Thanks, guys.
When the lights are low and the curtains are drawn, you know there's only one thing she wants you to put on.
My past will outlast me. Ask me if I agree with my choices now. I'd say no. I'd ask if that's me, 'cause I don't recognize